Hey, this is Josh, developer of One More Run. So to get the quick news out of the way for anyone who just wants the date, the last day of pre-release Season 1 will be December 14th. That'll mean you have until midnight Eastern Time on that day to submit a score. Ranking players will be permanently in the One More Run leaderboard for this pre-release Season 1, so even if you don't get rank 1, this is a cool opportunity to be a part of the game's history. Now on to the actual reward. The player who's earned the highest points will get to design One More Run's first ever unique item. I'll handle the balancing to make sure that it fits with the game and doesn't break things too badly, but you'll get to push the creativity side of it pretty much as far as you want. For example, if you design a leg module and you say, I want this to create burning ground anywhere the player travels, I'll then work with you to tune the damage, proc conditions, and other base attributes of the module to make sure it's balanced. But we'll make sure to keep the flavor and the core mechanic intact. You'll also get to write the flavor text for the module if you'd like, or I can write something in, but all unique modules are going to have some kind of flavor text because flavor text is fun. Alright, so getting on to some of the more technical aspects of all this, the leaderboards are starting to get a bit long in the tooth. They're just, from a functional standpoint, maintaining them won't be scalable. To give a little bit of background of where the leaderboards even came from, I didn't intend to create leaderboards for One More Run initially. And then we just kind of started having healthy competition in the Discord, and it just kind of felt like a natural feature to add to help kind of make that official instead of people just saying, oh, I survived this long, I survived that long. So if the leaderboards the way they're currently implemented feel a little bit kind of not planned, it's because they weren't. And the big limitation there is right now, all the leaderboard entries there are hard coded, so I have to push a new build anytime I want to update rankings. The good news is Steam has a feature called Steam Leaderboards that we can leverage. So Season 2, all leaderboards will be running through Steam Leaderboards. I have some architecting I need to do on my end to make sure that we're handling that correctly. There's some limitations with Steam Leaderboards, but in code I can work around that. But yeah, that means as long as you have an internet connection for Season 2, you're going to get up-to-date leaderboard data. And we can do a little bit of caching locally for when you don't have an internet connection, you can still view the last version of the leaderboard you had. So in the meantime, for this next month, that's going to mean that I'll do my best to keep the leaderboards updated. It's going to mean pushing a build on the side while I'm working on the next big content update. But I'll do my best to keep it updated. At a certain point, though, I'm sure it'll fall behind. So I'll be posting the most current rankings in Discord so that everyone's still up to date, even if their local leaderboard version isn't current. So in terms of content, this month building up to the end of Season 1 is going to be a freeze on new content and major balance changes. I'm trying to kind of learn a lesson there from Path of Exile and other similar games that have established healthy competitive seasons, and keeping a stable play environment, especially towards the end of a season, is really important. The start of the season you can really kind of throw people for a loop with balance and features and things like that, but as the season gets on, it's important to provide a stable environment. So I figure this is a good opportunity to kind of practice that philosophy around release scheduling. That also means I can really invest a lot of time here. I'm going to have 1 month to work on the next major content update. So that's going to be a very significant change. It's going to be a bump from version 0.1.33 to 0.1.40. So that should at least give you some frame of reference of just how significant I plan to overhaul several of the game's systems. So yeah, my intention here is that the new season is going to feel like a fairly fresh game. That being said, one thing that will be dropped, I'm confident of this, in the version 0.1.40 is the Paladin. It was fun experimenting with the Paladin subclass and getting some early feedback on it. But as more in-depth features are added to the base classes, the Paladin is more and more going to fall out of sync with that, and maintaining that, especially for a subclass, that's not really intended to be released until, deeper into early access. It just didn't make sense for me to keep trying to port these new features over to the Paladin. So I'm going to discontinue the Paladin's availability as of 0.1.40 If you have fun with that subclass and want to tinker with it a bit more, or you haven't tried it, you'll have this next month to give it a try. Otherwise, it will be coming back in early access along with 2 other subclasses for the cleric. All right, that's all for now. I'm super excited for what's coming next, but again, being cautious not to talk too much about it until it's ready to show. So there will be another video for that coming up later, but in the meantime, good luck competing on the leaderboards.